1939 to 1945. We are live at Memorial Park, Port of Spain, and we are about to witness the marching on of the troops and colors and flags. The right markers are in place. The troops are formed up in the Queen's Park Savannah, and they will march down Frederick, and they would come into the Memorial Park in a few moments' time. The sentries have been marched on to the cenotaph, and they are ready for parade.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now about to witness the marching on of the parade detachments who are formed up at the entrance of the Queen's Park Savannah on Frederick Street. The regimental band and corps of drums, led by Bandmaster Sergeant Tanis, will lead today's parade.
Regiment, and now the women's detachment of the Trinidad and the Tobago Regiment. They are closely followed by the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. You notice they're all resplendent and each wearing their poppies just over their left breast pocket. So we have two detachments.
The parade Sergeant Major, Warrant Officer Class 1. Detachments of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment, followed by two detachments of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, two detachments of the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard, and one detachment of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves. Two detachments of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and two detachments of the Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force. The unarmed detachments are as follows. One detachment of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, followed by one detachment of the Trinidad and Tobago Prisons Service, one detachment of the St. John's Ambulance Brigade, and one detachment of the Red Cross. parade sergeant major has dressed the parade in open order and will now hand the parade over to the parade adjutant, Flight Lieutenant Lafayette Groom.
Observance of the National Day of Remembrance, comprising of 11 armed detachments and 3 unarmed detachments, are formed up in open order and awaiting your command, sir. Right! Stand up! Right! Right! Show! The parade will fix bayonets! Fix! Bayonets! Show! Right! Stand up!
The parade adjutant has ordered the parade to fix bayonets in preparation to hand the parade over to the parade second in command, Lieutenant Commander Hewitt Arnold.
Right! Right! Show!
The officers of the respective detachments have been instructed by the parade second in command to fall into position to the front of their respective detachments as they take command.
Right.
You'll inform him that the parade is filed in, officers filed in, bayonets fixed, and ready for your command. Following his reporting, he's now giving his exit and salute. And he'll take up his position at the top of the parade. So the parade has been handed over to the parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Dwayne Edwards, and he is now ready, sword drawn, to take over his parade. All this is done before the arrival of Her Excellency to the parade square. On your far screen, you could see the parade second in command getting to his position.
The parade commander has taken over the parade and will order the marching on of the colors.
This is followed after taking over the parade. The colors of the various detachments with consecrated colors will be marched on. Stands the parade at ease, brings them back to the attention. The command to order arms has been given. He is just instructed for the colors and flags to be marched on. He's giving the general salute, present arms. And the color party will now be marched on. The band is playing The More We Are Together. In front, you have the regimental colors, the national colors, and the regimental colors. The regiment being the first formation to be commissioned in July of 1962, are vested with carrying the national colors. They are followed by the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, and falling into position just now was the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard's colors. The colors are escorted by armed personnel for, in the case of the regiment, staff sergeants and warrant officers. Escort, in the case of the Coast Guard, leading seamen, equivalent rank corporal, escort the colors with a color chief behind. So we see the Air Guard colors are in place. And all the troops will stand still until all colors are in place. You can see the Trinidad and Tobago Police Services colors in the background. The Trinidad and Tobago Regiment are in place. Behind them, you can see the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service colors falling in. Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard colors are in place. The Coast Guard Ensign, it is called. The senior colors officer will now give the command to present arms for the escorts. And now the parade commander is in full command of all on parade. He'll give the command to order arms. parade will stand at ease as we await the arrival of the principal office holders. So all are felled in on the parade and waiting for the arrival of our principal office holders. We will start with the Minister of National Security. He will be followed by the Chief Justice. So on screen we are seeing the arrival of supposed to be the Minister of National Security. The Honorable Fitzgerald Hines has arrived, Minister of National Security.
But the poppy's origin as a popular symbol of remembrance lies in the landscapes of the First World War.
He will remain at the gate in order to meet the next principal office holder.
Of the Honorable Fitzgerald Hines, the Minister of National Security, and Mrs. Margaret Hines.
Here we see the parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Edwards. He's in a position where he can see all the office holders arriving, so he knows when to bring the parade to attention for when Her Excellency arrives. Wonderful shot of the cenotaph and all its symbols. The soldier is protecting his comrade who was shot and fallen.
In 1980, in response to the Crazy Poor, an American humanitarian, Ona Michael, wrote, "And now the torch and poppy red beware in honor of our dead." She campaigned to make the poppy a symbol of remembrance of those who have died in the war.
We are viewing the arrivals area. And we are waiting the arrival of the Chief Justice. In the view, you have the Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force Century, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Services Century, and the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves Century in the red beret. On the other side, you would have the Regiment, Coast Guard, and Air Guard centuries. They keep guard on the cenotaph. There's a symbol of the unknown soldier that has fallen. They keep guard on the unknown soldier that has fallen. Here we see the Commissioner of Police arriving. And the dignitary area is beginning to fill up with members of Parliament, MPs, senators, members of the opposition, and all other principal government holders. On your screen is the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard, formed in 2005. The cenotaph before you was first unveiled in Memorial Park, Port of Spain on June the 24th, 1924. Members of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service on your screen. A lot of hustling and bustling of people who are now coming and trying to get to their seats before the arrival of Her Excellency is taking place off camera. And arriving here now is supposed to be the Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Justice Ivo Archie, and Mrs. Denise Rodriguez Archery. The Chief Justice and Mrs. Archie have arrived, and they'll be met by the Minister of National Security and the Chief of Protocol. Their arrival should follow the Prime Minister of the Republic.
Of the Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Justice Ivo Archie and Mrs. Denise Rodriguez Archie.
The Chief Justice will take his seat before the arrival of Her Excellency. You see him walking up the red carpet, lining the red carpet, creating a guard of honor. You would have seen members of the Scout Association of Trinidad and Tobago and members of the Girl Guide Association of Trinidad and Tobago. The Chief Justice and Mrs. Archie are both seated, and pretty soon we would witness the arrival of the Prime Minister. Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard on your screen. A little chatter there, all in keeping themselves up and entertained during this long-standing period. A light breeze and bright sunshine, ideal for a parade, as we see it here at the Memorial Park. The poppy they are wearing are symbolic, and it became symbolic as in the burial fields of war, poppies naturally grew on the graves of the fallen. So it became the ceremonial or representing flower of Memorial Day Parade. Here we see the Colors Officer for the Trinidad and the Tobago Coast Guard, Sub-Lieutenant K. Clunis. We have a wonderful view here of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard and the Women's Detachment of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. Lieutenant Joseph is the detachment commander for the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. The parade house announcer just reminded the parade that there would be loud explosions, and you would hear them as well. That signals the start of the 2 minutes of silence and signaling the end of those 2 minutes of silence. On your screen, the red berets as the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves, and the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard. For those now joining us, we welcome you to the annual Day of Remembrance 2023 at Memorial Park, Port of Spain. A fine shot of all the troops and the armed contingent, bayonets fixed, officers in position, colors in place, awaiting the arrival of Her Excellency, the President. This is the National Day of Remembrance 2023. We're witnessing here the arrival. This is most likely the arrival of the Prime Minister and his escort as they come. Sorry about that. As they come down Queen's Park East, making their way into position. Yes, and we're about to witness the arrival of the Prime Minister of the Republic, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, and Mrs. Sharon Rowley. The Prime Minister has alighted his vehicle and he will await the arrival of his wife. There they are. They'll be both met by the Minister of National Security and the Chief of Protocol. They will wait now the arrival of Her Excellency, the President of the Republic.
We would like to acknowledge the arrival of Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and Mrs. Sharon Rowley.
And Dr. Rowley is making his way up the red carpet, where he will take his seat in anticipation of the arrival of Her Excellency, the President. And in the distance, coming along Queen's Park East, you can see the mounted branch, the official escort of Her Excellency, the President, are making their way, trotting down Queen's Park East, and they will arrive shortly. This entourage, as it leaves the residence of Her Excellency, will not stop until it arrives at its destination. So nothing stops this entourage. In addition to the mounted branch, there are outrider escorts and vehicular escorts, front and rear. There you see them trotting into positions. as they make their way around the bend just after Gillingham Avenue to come in front of Memorial Square. Yes, and here they are, Mounted Branch, coming in front of the main entrance for Memorial Square. For those of you now joining us, welcome to the National Day of Remembrance 2023. The sentries are on the cenotaph. Parade commander will now call the parade to the attention position in lieu of the arrival of Her Excellency. The Chief of Defense Staff, the official aide to Her Excellency, has taken his position. To welcome Her Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, Her Excellency Christine Carla Kangaloo, ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and His Excellency Cohen Garcia, SC, have arrived at the Parade Square.
Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo, Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and His Excellency Cohen Garcia, SC.
Her Excellency and His Excellency are arriving. His Excellency Cohen Garcia is the first gentleman of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the first ever gentleman of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
General salute! Parade!
The parade commander has instructed the parade to present arms, which is a salute for the arrival of Her Excellency. While this is going on, the sentries on the cenotaph will rest on their arms reversed. The mounted branch would have taken up their positions, and as you see, the sentries have now rested on their arms reversed, with the butts of the weapon facing up and the muzzles facing down, and they are now bowing their heads. This is the solemnity of this moment. And loud explosions, as you would have heard, have started. The 2 minutes of silence. The women's detachment of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment presenting arms with their SMGs. The Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard presenting arms with their SLRs. They will hold this position for the next 2 minutes. The sentries on the cenotaph will hold that position for the remainder of the parade. This forms the Memorial Day salute. The second gun will be followed by drummers of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment Band and Corps. And then we'll have the sounding of the last post. Her Excellency, His Excellency, Mr. Justice, the Chief of Defense Staff, are all on your screen. The second explosion has been sounded, ending the 2 minutes of silence. At this time, the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment Band is sounding the last post. You see the buglers performing the last post. It takes a bit of coordination to have 3 buglers in unison perform the last post. It's usually something done by 1 bugler. The parade commander will now instruct the parade to shoulder arms, followed by the order of arms, and then stand at ease. After which,
will now be opened by a representative of the Interreligious Organization of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Samuel Solomon.
Mr. Samuel Solomon will now offer prayers as a representative of the Interreligious Organization.
The memory of those who inhabited that war-shattered landscape, those who endured the mud and blood, those who showed great courage and loyalty to comrades and arms, those who saw unspeakable sights of bodies broken, those whose minds were numbed by the noise of bombardment, and those whose eyes saw the ugliness of disfigured fighting faces, all who were engaged in combat, those who tended the main division, the fallen, and for those families who still hold the memories of deceased soldiers, we ask for God's mercy and ourselves to remember. Lord God of nations, easily forget those who are the victims of war. Forgive the wrath of nations, the desire to build empires, and to seek domination over others. May your mercy be upon all who have suffered the ravages of war. Soothe their sorrows and heal their memories. Restrain the impulse to seek revenge, and by your grace may we find forgiveness in our hearts. Strengthen our wills to do good, and not to harm, and not to destroy, and bring good to other people. The giver of all joy in every generation, companion in sorrow. Even when the grief feels our presence, accept our sorrow for those who fell during World War I and II. Our gratitude for the freedom won by their sacrifice, our pain for the conflicts that still engulf the world, and our hope that we with all who gave their lives have journeyed into your safety and enjoy this gift of generations. I thank you.
Have been offered by Samuel Solomon, representative of the
Ladies and gentlemen, you will now witness the laying of wreaths in honor of all who have served and in memory of those who fell in the 2 world wars. Hey! Her Excellency Christine Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces will lay the first wreath at the cenotaph for this occasion.
It's been offered and presented. The President had laid a wreath. She'll give a small honor, tribute, and return to her seat.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may now.
Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley.
Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, will now lay the second wreath at the cenotaph. We will now continue with the ceremonial laying of wreath. The Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Justice Ivor Archie, will now lay the next wreath. The Honorable Fitzgerald Hines, Minister of National Security, will lay the next wreath. Chief of Defense Staff, Air Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel will lay the next wreath. Speaker of the House, the Honorable Bridget Anisette George, will lay the next wreath. Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Ambassador for the Republic of Cuba, Her Excellency Taina Diego Olite. Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey, Her Excellency Bengu Yitguden. High Commissioner for the United Kingdom of Great Britain and North Ireland, Her Excellency Harriet Cross. Ambassador of the Republic of Peru, His Excellency David Francisco Malaga Ego Aguirre. Ambassador of the Republic of Panama, Her Excellency Sylvia Edith Miller Palmer. Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency Feng Shou. Ambassador of the Federative Republic of Brazil, His Excellency Rodrigo do Amaralo Souza. Ambassador of the Dominican Republic, His Excellency Wellington Dario Bencosme Castaños. Ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain, His Excellency Fernando Nogales Alvarez. Ambassador of the Argentine Republic, His Excellency Marcelo Gabriel Suarez Salvia. Ambassador of the Republic of Korea, His Excellency Dong Il-oh. Ambassador of the French Republic, His Excellency Didier Chabert. Ambassador of Japan, His Excellency Yutaka Matsubara. Ambassador of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, His Excellency Alvaro Enrique Sanchez Cordero. Ambassador of the United Mexican States, His Excellency Victor Hugo Morales Melendez.
Ambassadors are paying their simple homage to those who have fallen, those who have served World Wars I and II. The escorts will make their way back. This next grouping will make their way forward. All ordered, all in order, all disciplined.
Titular Archbishop of Alabama, Apostolic Nuncio, His Excellency, the Most Reverend Santiago David Guzman. Ambassador of the United States of America, His Excellency Candace Ewart. High Commissioner for Canada, His Excellency Arif Shan. High Commissioner for the Commonwealth of Australia, His Excellency Sonia Coupe.
The next grouping is His Excellency of the Most Reverend Santiago de Witt Guzman, the titular Archbishop of Gabala Apostolic Nuncio. Her Excellency Candace A. Bond, Ambassador of the United States of America. His Excellency Arif Kishani, High Commissioner for Canada. Her Excellency Sonia Coupe, High Commissioner for the Commonwealth of Australia. And His Excellency Herman Nunez Montenegro, Ambassador of the Republic of Chile.
Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Germany, His Excellency Dr. Christoph Nicolas A. Ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, His Excellency Cornelius Wilhelm Erzak. High Commissioner for the Republic of India, His Excellency Dr. Pradeep Singh Rajput. High Commissioner for Jamaica, Her Excellency Natalie Campbell Rodriguez.
Ambassador for the Federal Republic of Germany, His Excellency Cornelius Herzbach, Ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, His Excellency Dr. Pradeep Singh Rajpurohit, High Commissioner for the Republic of India, Her Excellency Natalie Campbell Rodriguez, High Commissioner for Jamaica. As the centuries return, the new centuries will enter. have 3 more in the diplomatic missions.
Of the delegation of the European Union to Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Sanjin Solid. Acting Consul General, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Ms. Vanessa Victor.
And before you we have Mr. Joseph Oye, Chargé d'Affaires for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. Sanjin Soldatik, Chargé d'Affaires for the delegation of the European Union to Trinidad and Tobago, and Ms. Vonetta Victor, Consul General for the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. We're moving to legions, heads of division, and heads of municipalities.
Vice President of the Trinidad and Tobago Region of Commonwealth Ex-Service League.
And on your screen, we have the Vice President of the Trinidad and Tobago Legion of Commonwealth Ex-Services League, the Trinidad and Tobago Legion. He's filling in for the President of the Legion, who is ill, Colonel Retired Lyle Alexander, this morning. This will be followed by heads of divisions and heads of the municipalities. The Commissioner of Police of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Mrs. Ula Christopher. She is followed by the Acting Commissioner of Prisons, Mr. Ramuta, and the Chief Fire Officer, Mr. Arnold Bristol. These should be followed by the heads of the municipalities. The Mayor of Port of Spain, San Fernando, Arima, and Point Fortin.
The Mayor of Port of Spain is wishing
Mayor of Port of Spain, His Worship, the Mayor Chinua Allen, Mayor of the City of Port of Spain. This will be followed by the Mayor of San Fernando, His Worship Robert Louis Paris, City of San Fernando, the Mayor of Arima, His Worship Baliram Maraj, Mayor of the Borough of Arima, the Mayor of Point Fortin, His Worship Clyde James, Mayor for the Borough of Point Fortin.
Acting Commandant of the Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force, Lieutenant Colonel Ronald York.
We have the Acting Commandant of the Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force, Lieutenant Colonel Ronald York.
Chairman, Chief Commander, Scout Association of Trinidad.
And we have the National Scout Commissioner, Mr. Mark Ainsley John, the National Scout Commissioner of the Boy Scouts Association.
The Youth Director of the Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Society, Simone Hannes. President of the Royal Air Force Association, Dr. Kenneth Butcher. Senior Commissioner
We have the President of the Red Cross Society, represented by the Youth Commissioner, Simone Hannes. The Royal Air Force Association, Dr. Kenneth Butcher. And then we have the Girl Guides Association, Ms. Lynette Odin, Senior Commissioner of Girl Guides. We must note that this is the first time in their 111 years history that the Scout Association is allowed to lay a wreath. There's a history forgotten. The Scouts did play an important part in both World Wars, I and II. Couriers, first aiders, and at some point in time in Trinidad and Tobago, there were senior scouts that aided the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in performing patrols on land and at sea. But this brings us to the end of the wreath laying ceremony at the Cenotaph Memorial Park, Port of Spain.
Please stand, ladies and gentlemen.
The troopers are now, and members of the seated audience are asked to stand as the band plays the retreat. This will be followed by the departures and the end of the parade. All less solemn, or less silent as this time, as we are coming to the end of the National Day of Remembrance 2023. The sentries on the cenotaph will now change their position to order arms as they come out of the rest on the arms reverse. And they're now going to present arms for the presidential salute, which is followed by the national anthem. The anthem has just been played. The colors officers will now get themselves in position.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the departure of the Excellencies Christine Kakadu.
We are witnessing now, off your screen, the departure of Her Excellency the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, along with the First Gentleman of the Republic, His Excellency. The band is playing their fanfare as they exit. This, ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed a presidential parade, Scale A parade, where the highest office holder in the land is the chief celebrant. And the parade will stand at ease. But before everyone can depart, the parade commander will order the marching off of the colors. Here we see Lieutenant Colonel Edwards taking his position. He's called the parade to attention. On your screen, you see the escorts for Her Excellency returning to President's house. The parade has just been asked to shoulder arms. The mounted branch, the official escort for Her Excellency, are returning to President's house. General salute, present arms, instruction has been given, and it will be followed by the marching off of the colors. The band will play The More We Are Together, and the colors are being marched off the parade square. In your view is is the Trinidad and Tobago ensign. The far top left of your screen is the regimental colors. The Coast Guard ensign will be followed by the Air Guard ensign. Let's get a shot here of the mounted branch escorting Her Excellency and His Excellency back to President's house. All the colors will fall in and then march off the square. So we're witnessing the Air Guard colors getting into place, followed by the colors of the Trinidad and the Tobago Police Service, and now the Trinidad and the Tobago Cadet Force. And they'll exit through the northern gate of Memorial Square. The marching off of the colors signify the coming of end of a parade. The parade commander will wait till the colors have exited the square totally and the band will halt. Shoulder arms is the next instruction. The audience have been invited to be seated. The parade will order arms. They will stand at ease. And the parade commander will now call on the parade second in command. So the parade commander will hand the parade over to the parade second in command. The parade second in command will then do his duty. There we see Lieutenant Commander Amagom of the Trinidad and the Tobago Coast Guard, parade second in command for the National Day of Remembrance 2023, making his way to report to the parade commander. This is the time the troops are all saying thank goodness. The hot sun will be over just now. We'll be able to get back in, we'll get refreshed. And it has been a well done parade today. I see the parade second in command is in position, and he will report. He's reporting to the parade commander. Salutes. They both salute. The parade commander will sheathe his sword and exit the parade square. And there you have it. Lieutenant Colonel Edwards has exited the parade square. The parade second in command will now follow the officers. Following the falling out of the officers, he will invite the parade sergeant major to follow out the rest of the parade. The instruction to follow the officers have been given, and you would see them marching into position in front of your screen. Air Guard officers, followed by the Coast Guard officers, Fire Service officers marching before you. They're falling in, of course, in order of precedence and seniority. Officers are filled in and they will report. They all salute, and they would sheathe their swords, those who have swords. Notice that the Coast Guard and Air Guard officers actually look at their swords to sheathe their swords. They have to. The tradition is that they work on ships, and they need to see what they're doing with their swords so that they don't injure themselves. They will now fall off and march off the square. And there you have the officers being marched off the parade square. The officers will exit the northern gate of the Memorial Square. We still have wonderful wind, bright sunshine, and a wonderful parade day today. The parade second in command has now requested the parade sergeant major.
The parade second in command will now hand the parade to the parade sergeant major.
The parade sergeant major, warrant officer class 1A Guppy, is reporting to the parade second in command. And he will fall out. He will unfix bayonets. They're getting in the position to unfix their bayonets. And now they have to sheathe their bayonets and their pouches. He'll give them in close order command. The front rank will take a pace back, the rear rank will take a pace forward. And they're now closed. Right dress. So they'll take their dressings on the right. In the background, you see the band falling in place to march the parade off. The parade will now order arms.
One, command the space. Will turn smartly to your right. Observe the regulation force. Those with rifle will execute a butt salute. Those without will execute a hand salute.
He's instructing them, and they take a turn to the right. They'll execute a full salute because there are still officers on parade.
Before breaking ranks. Parade. Yes. Miss.
Turn to the right. A butt salute, as it is referred to, and they'll immediately march off the square. So as we come to the end of today's National Day of Remembrance 2023, in honor of all who served and in memory of those who fell in World Wars I and II, 1914 to 1918 and 1939 to 1945. This has been the National Day of Remembrance 2023. Thank you for your viewing. Thank you for your presence. Have a blessed and wonderful day.
che cattivana, o te che casa